Greetings, community, and welcome to Entropy Comics and another edition of Kevin's most anticipated reads for New Comic Book Day, 12/17/2025. And it's great to be here. It's great to be alive, and I appreciate each and every single one of you that cruise on through. Without you, it'd be only have as much fun as it truly is. I truly do appreciate each and every one of you guys that cruise on through. I do. And hey, to start it off, I want to go ahead and talk about Bad Idea. Cul-de-sac, issue number 5. Man, this is a story that's very unique as far as when vampire stories come along. And this is one I've really been enjoying because of the uniqueness of not only how it's told, but exactly the uniqueness of how it's drawn. The art itself does reflect on how the storytelling is being done. And it's very different and unique because at times it's black and white, and other times it's bringing in this full color range, but it's really trying to reflect what's transpiring in the actual story itself. Bad Ideas, cul-de-sac, issue number 5. I'm just saying it's one, if you haven't already been reading it from the beginning, I do highly advise that you pick up the trade. Hey, I do appreciate Las Cruces cruising on through on here. What happened to my hello from New Mexico? I don't know. Is there? Anyways, after that, I'm looking forward to this book. I'm not quite certain exactly if there is something that's supposed to come after this as far as issue number 6. I do believe 5 isn't the final issue. As far as the story goes, this coming of age tale of vampires happens about in a kind of a pubescent time period. There's 3 families that live in this town, and they go out to take their children to go ahead and have an understanding of who they are, and they can have an opportunity to make choices in that. So it does seem fairly unique. And like I said, in the storytelling, during the time in which that they're on this trip, most of the families back at the homestead have been slaughtered by vampire slayers. And one of their cohorts in the slaughter is a vampire. It's pretty gnarly. It's really interesting, and I can't wait to get into it. Hey, Jag, I appreciate you being here. Agu, you too. And Las Cruces, of course. I appreciate all you guys being here. I truly do. All right, now, hey, after that, let's go ahead and jump into Marvel. Marvel Studios is going to go ahead and give us that's right. They're going to first start giving us Black Cat, issue number 5, Black Cat. I've really been enjoying the series. Black Cat Felicia's really trying to find her new identity. And not only is individuals on the villain side not believing her, but the people on the good side are not also believing her too. So a lot of heroes are doubting her true, how should I say, motivations behind this, and think that there's just some type of two-faced thing going on, as there normally is with Felicia. And now that she's trying to reinvent herself, not many people are buying into it. I've really been enjoying this, and it now puts her in a pickle. There's only one individual that can save her, and it's an individual that we all know that kind of teams up with her. So, MJ, where are you again to save Felicia? So here we are with Black Cat issue number 5, and it seems like that's the story to tell. Moving out from Black Cat issue number 5, and let's cruise over to Mortal Thor issue number 5. This one, not only is the cover cool, but the story has been rather unique. And again, twice I use that. And what I mean by that again is here we are with, if you take in what's been happening in the past 2 years with Thor, we've went on this journey into essentially death and being born, but born mortal. In this mortal state, he's more brutal than ever, and he really hasn't wrapped his head around, one, who he truly is, two, the fact that he's being followed around by this imp. He's not really questioning the reality that he's not only living in, but this mythical creature that is in his presence, and he's not questioning how that relates to his reality that's has nothing to do with that kind of it's really interesting. And the fact that he's been not afraid to use a hammer in a fairly brutal way that I've never seen before, especially when it comes to a mortal sake. So This mortal Thor is not only more brutal than any Thor that I've really seen in the past couple of years, but one which that I thoroughly have been enjoying and I can't get enough of. I'm just saying, for a Marvel, this and this Infernal Hulk has been showing more blood and gore than most of these Red Band series have, and it's been awesome. Just saying. Mortal Thor issue number 5 coming out on 12/17/2025. Let's cruise out from that and cruise over to Image. Image Studio has now given us Exquisite Corpse issue number 8. I've been getting the C covers for every single one of those. Been really picking up those, not only because I've been digging the fact that they give you a cool cover, but also the fact they give you a cool card. Every once in a while, you can get a 1 in 10, and that gives you a foil version of the card for that series, or that issue. And this issue, I end up getting, this is going to sound funny, my favorite character that I can't remember its name. And it's, I can't remember, it's like Tinsel or whatever, I can't remember. The cool one about this one is we don't see much about this character, but this character, I can't wait to read in this thing. It was almost my most anticipated read. It probably was like 7 months in a row, but this one, it just fell short to one that you'll see shortly. I can't wait to jump in this, but it's going to have to wait just right behind our Blue Light Special. Exquisite Corpse is also this time written by one of my favorite writers. Hornsack is not only a cool guy I like hanging out with and talking comics with, but he actually writes a lot of these horror and gore series that I thoroughly enjoy, and I can't wait to get into this, like I said before, but it's just going to have to wait. Let's move out from the Exquisite Corpses issue number 8 and talk about G.I. Joe issue number 16. Again, now we're integrating the whole series of the Underground universe into one thorough universe. It's really seen its full fleshness as how one story is interdependent upon another, and they're all interlinking. I really digging how in this Dreadnought war we're getting, well, what we've seen in the 4, if you follow the series in the past, that both Duke and Cobra Commander are rather relying upon one another. It's awesome. You never know who's going to stab each other in the back. You're waiting for it. Duke is not necessarily one to stab anybody back, but he's one that would defend himself, and he's not unwilling to hurt someone while doing it. I can't wait to get into G.I. Joe issue number 16. However, I've yet to read fully 15. That's what's on my, see all this stuff back there? I'm just saying, there's a lot back there. I'm catching up so close. Issue number 16 is right there on my hot plate. Moving on from G.I. Joe, issue number 16, let's talk about World Tree, issue number 17. Here we are with World Tree. I really thought we were going to get some closure with 16. I didn't realize that all it was doing is ending another arc. Issue 17 starts off an arc of World Tree, which is not only a real awesome series, it's just constantly pulling you like taffy, almost like a soap opera where it leads you to the last page or two where you're just like, oh, now I have to read the next issue. I have to. You can't leave me hanging like that. That's how every issue is. I've really been enjoying the story of this possible undernet threatening the reality of what we live into in this fabric world, in this tangible one. To have a circuitry world invade a tangible one where you can essentially step through a screen and all the horrors can travel with it is brutally scary. And that's what we get in World Tree. I've really been enjoying this Tynion series. It's really been sporadic on its release, but it's been worth the wait. It probably reads exceptionally better as a trade. I do recommend that because it probably is considerably more coherent. But World Tree issue number 17 is pretty high on my list, just saying. However, moving on from that, let's cruise over to another one, Dynamite. Dynamite is going to give us Space Ghost, issue number 6. David Pepose is doing a magnificent job on this series. I've always just looked at Space Ghost as a filler in cartoons when I was watching it, in like, I don't know, my 30s or something like that, back in the early 2000s when it was doing all this things like Robot Chicken and stuff back in the day. It was nothing. And also when I was way younger, I do remember the series in a comic book, but it never had the gravity in which that David Pepose is giving the present series. This run is not only just so catching in the sense that once it puts the hooks in, you can't get away, but it always leaves me in a way of feeling that there's this peril that I have to know. It leaves me in a suspense that I'm always concerned about not only the fate of our galaxy, but the kids. I'm always worried about these damn kids, and it just freaks me out. So, yeah, David, you're doing a magnificent job. I'm just saying that keep it up, but unfortunately, it wasn't this week's Blue Light Special. This week's Blue Light Special is bum, bum, ba-da. Yeah. Barbaric. The Long Death, issue number 1 of 3. Now, if you don't know the story of Barbaric, Irwin, I think his name. Anyways, he's been cursed. And we find more about his curse in this issue. This has been a series that dropped, oh, God, I want to say over 4 years ago, I think. Anyways, he's cursed to bear an axe. The axe has a name. Well, let's just call him Axe right now. This axe is bloodthirsty, and he's also cursed to drink a lot of blood. It's constantly wanting to just eat up any flesh it can. However, the flesh it desires and it must eat, drink blood of, is that of which is considered evil. And the axe tends to know better even than Soren. Soren, you may ask, is who's that? That is a witch that our barbaric friend has come across way back in the story that now travels with our barbaric friend, Axe, and Soren the witch. All find out more about themselves in this series. I've been waiting over, 7, 8, 9 months for the series to come back. I love this series. Why? There's nothing out there like it. I'm laughing. I'm wincing. I can't wait to turn the next page. And then sometimes I know what's going to happen on the next page and I almost don't want to look. This series has everything that you're looking for because the art, the storytelling, the overall deliverance of Barbaric, the series by Vault, again, is unparalleled by anything else out there. I truly am recommending this series to nearly anybody out there. That of which that I do recommend for has to be that of which the 13 or years older of age and or older. The reason why is this is not for the younger, and it shows a lot of brutality. However, a lot of times the messaging in these series tends to be pretty good. Again, my Blue Light Special this week, Vault, Barbaric, The Long Death, issue number 1 of 3. I appreciate every one of you that cruise on through Las Cruces, Jag, Agu, and anyone else that I may have missed. I appreciate you greatly. And I hope you like the new format and what's that I got going on. And I hope to improve down the road. You take care. And that's it for me. That's your P. Bye.